All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
When the sun lowers toward the horizon and the sky turns black.
I don't know what hovers over this house, but it was strong enough to punch a hole into this world.
When the normal makes way for the strange and unexplained.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
It's time to question what is natural and what lies beyond our understanding.
You never told me they could do that. I didn't know they could do that.
It's time to enter the edge of the unknown with your host, Mark Henry.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark, and you're on the edge of the unknown. Super excited to be back. Seriously. No, everybody, this is amazing. My name is Mark Henry. This is the edge of the unknown. And I cannot tell you how happy I am to be back on the airwaves. Folks, this feels great. If I paid BMI and ASCAP fees, I'd be playing a song by Suicidal Tendencies called The Feeling's Back. But I don't, so I can't play that. And you're just going to have to listen to my voice and my awesome guest tonight as we get ready to head back to the edge of the unknown. Holy smokes, folks. For those of you who are not familiar with the show, if you're listening for the first time, or those of you who have been paying attention and following me and wonderfully sending me awesome emails and cool messages via email and the whole nine, it was so awesome for you to stick by me because, as those who have followed me know, my father passed away in September unexpectedly. I had a wonderful guest right for that weekend and unfortunately had to kind of uproot everything that I had been doing and change the way that things were. And at that time, I was running the Beyond Borders Paranormal Radio Network with some wonderful, wonderful friends. And I had a very hard time pulling the plug, not only on my show, but on that network and on those wonderful shows too. Steve Culls, the Squatch Inspector was on, Julie McDonald, rather. She's going to kill me for calling her Judy. Ann Fitzgerald was getting ready to come back. I mean, we had a really good thing going there. And I just had to say, you know what? This is the time in your life where you've got to step back, take stock of the situation, understand that life can't always be exactly the way that you want it to be. And if you want to move forward and do it as best as you can, 100%, and kick ass, then you need to take stock of the situation. So I also apologize to everybody who I told I will be back in April. Well, it's going to be May. Maybe June. And unfortunately, none of that actually happened. But now, here we are in July, broadcasting live. And folks, it is awesome to be here with you. You can always find all the information that you need to find for this show at theedgeoftheunknown.com. We're broadcasting live there right now. Spreaker.com, just look for The Edge of the Unknown or Mark Henry. You'll find my page and you can listen live there. All of the archives will be housed both there on my webpage and also on YouTube. So if you've missed anything, it's going to be a little different going forward, folks. There's going to be lots of different places that you can hear this here radio show. So I am just beside myself. Was just laughing with my guest off air about how you have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. I just fought a bunch of bees that were in my Florida room. Last week was supposed to be the triumphant return of the Edge of the Unknown, and then my area was hit with the biggest flash flood that this area has seen since 1932. And unfortunately, my basement got flooded, and that took away any ability for me to actually do the show. So I had to say, let's wait till next week. Ray Scott, Sorcerer Ray Scott, sorcererforhire.com is my guest tonight, and we're going to be talking to him in just a second. He was good enough to say, hey, you know what? Take care of what you got to take care of. We'll be back next week, and that's going to be awesome. So perfect timing. Such a wonderful guy to say no big deal. And I think you're going to really enjoy what you're going to hear tonight and moving forward. We are already booked into September with lots of great guests, and we'll talk about that throughout the evening. But it is so good to be back, folks. I want you to join me. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments for my guests tonight or throughout the week, theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com is the email address. Find me on Facebook, The Edge of the Unknown Radio Show. On the Edge is on Twitter. If you are a Twitter guy, you can check me out there, or a Twitter gal. And of course, you can find me live chat at Spreaker.com. Simon from the UK just checked in on the chat room. Yes, Simon, this is a chat room, and I will respond to that just as we continue moving on with the show. But you know what you can also do? You can also call this show if you've got a question or comment this evening, as we take you up until 10 o'clock every Sunday night. 716-218-3557 is your way onto the Edge of the Unknown. So everybody, thanks for hanging in there with me. I appreciate your patience. It has been a very long, very weird year. Losing someone that close to you, I'm sure a lot of you out there have had the same kind of thing happen. Losing my dad was very, very hard. It's still something that I'm not completely over with, but you know what? I know that he would want me to move on and keep on keeping on, and that's what we're going to do here on the Edge of the Unknown. My guest tonight, Ray Scott. Quite an interesting fellow. Over 45 years of experience in metaphysics. He is an expert in the areas of all forms of magic. White, gray, black, you name it. Necronomics, witchcraft, shamanism, demonology, and hoodoo. Not really familiar with hoodoo, so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. He has been training with such groups as Rosicrucians, the Mind Science Foundation, Mind Sci Biotics, Self-Realization Fellowship, and many other types of healings. Folks, I am happy to be back here on the Edge of the Unknown, and I am extremely pleased that we are going to be exploring sorcery and magic. And not the kind of sleight of hand my buddy and friend of the show, a magician Mike Siege, does. We're talking about something a little bit more involved. Tonight is a little bit different for that sort of thing. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome Ray Scott back to the Edge of the Unknown this evening. Ray, how are you?
Fine, Mark, fine. Thanks for inviting me back. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for your patience. I know I was texting you and sending you these crazy pictures, and you were so kind as to just say, wow, that's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
That was a lot of water.
It's no stream anymore.
And that was not, I mean, it was a little creek behind my old neighborhood, and holy smokes, that wasn't a creek afterwards. I mean, it was normally 1.5 to 2 feet deep. And yeah, when it goes up to 11 to 13, that's a lot of water. Anyway.
That's a lot of water.
It was. Thanks so much for coming on. What have you been up to before we start talking a little bit about your background? Ray, what's been going on since the last time you've been on the Edge? Geez, it's been about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. A lot has happened in 2 years. Yeah. It's been crazy since last October, November-ish. It's just come unglued. So many, because I specialize in protecting people from curses and demons, and it has just been coming out of the woodwork. 20 to give or take 20 demon clearings a month. From mostly people, not buildings. It's mostly just people, and people being cursed, and it's just been crazy. It's been very crazy. So that's the gist of it. Just in the last, like I said, just since October, November. Yeah, and I've been scratching my head wondering what is going on.
Which I think is, we need to explore why all of a sudden this massive influx. But let's go back to the beginning, when you first started getting interested in, let's call it sorcery, we'll call it witchcraft, whatever you're comfortable with. When did you realize that this was something that was going to be a part of your life, that you knew this was the path you were going to go down?
Oh, well, I just got out of the military. 72, and I got into I was in martial arts for quite a few years, so I started taking some yoga to learn some more stretches that I could involve in what I was teaching. And there was another class available that was dealing with meditation, reincarnation, karmism, ESP, and things like. I said, well, that sounds interesting. I think I'll take that class too. Just see what's going on. And one thing led to another. Pretty soon, I'm teaching the class, and the teacher went on to teach advanced classes, and then kept on going and going. It just intrigued me so much. And well, here I am. I had no idea I'd be doing this. I saw an article once, a definition of matter of fact, it's posted on my website, sorcererforhorror.com, by another author, and he described what a sorcerer was, and I said, wow, that's me.
And
that's what I've been doing.
And is there a different, I mean, when you hear sorcerer, we're thinking for the folks who are, not totally into metaphysics and paranormal, they're thinking, here comes Ray with his robe and wizard hat. It's not really the way that it is.
Disney.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, what I consider myself as a sorcerer as a person that is connected to the source of all creation. There's a lot of names for that. English-speaking countries would call that God. There's a lot of other countries that would have other names for it, but I call it the source. That way, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. But that's what I feel. I'm connected to that energy. It's not necessarily a person, one person persona. Is more or less, we are all that. We're like drops of water in a vast ocean of consciousness, and we are part of that. So it's not just one person. It's a group consciousness, and I'm connected to all that. And so the closer I get to the connection, the more I can do. It's not all about just education. It's about evolution of consciousness to be able to do a lot of this work. My work has evolved as well. I used to be able to do things that took a long time. It's taken less time. Well, like any job, the longer you do it, the better you get at it. So, yeah, and that's where we're at now. So, protecting people from a lot of curses and demons. So,
why do you think that you were touched or you were pulled into this direction? I mean, you just mentioned that we're all in this together, but only certain people kind of get this calling, whether it might be a priest or, a guy who wants to just, run cable for a living. Why do you think you were drawn to what it is that you do now?
Every past life I've ever remembered, I've been doing something similar. And so I'm just picking up in the steps where I left off previous, except a step higher because I've had to, because there's a big flux of dark energy going, and you don't have to be a genius to think of that. Just read the paper, look at the news. I mean, the world's going crazy. Most of the mass shootings and serial killers and things like that, they're demonically possessed. Many of them don't even know what the heck just happened. And so at least all the ones that I researched after the fact. So a lot of that is going on. It is a building of an army. That's what I've been told. So I don't know. I just picked up on that. I have no idea for myself, but I know it is getting bad, getting very bad. And I get a lot of people that want me to clear them of the demons or whatever the case. But there's a lot of people, because I give free divination readings. I do that so that many times people know something's going on, but they're not quite sure what is going on. They have ideas. So what I do is clarify what is going on and gives them at least an idea so that they can progress from there as to how they want to proceed. Just because I give them the read doesn't mean I'm going to be helping them. Many times they choose not to. They have other sources to go to. That's all fine. At least I did my part. I helped clarify what is happening, and sometimes they want me to help relieve them. I've had people who are demonically harassed, or it's not so much a possession like you would depict in a movie. It's a possessive manipulation, but that manipulation can get to such a degree that the person can't hear their own selves think. All they hear is that voice in their head, and they can't tune it out. They can't stop it. And I've had some where they had them all their life, since early childhood, and it's just they couldn't keep sharp objects in the home because they're afraid they're going to kill themselves. No friends. Everybody stays away from them. Wow. It's crazy.
Ray Scott, my guest. Here on the Edge of the Unknown. Sorcererforhire.com. If you're interested in checking his biz out and see a little bit more about him, we're going to take you up until 10 o'clock this evening, as we will each and every Sunday night, except for next Sunday, and it's kind of a cock tease what I'm doing. But anyway, we'll talk about that down the road. Ray, when did you first realize that what you were getting was legit? I know we talked a little bit about how you got introduced and how you started to work in this field and how this came to you. But when did you first realize? When was the day that you said, this is not just something that is passing me by. This is not just something that's sort of interesting. This is something that, hey, that's legit, and I can show you why it's legit.
Well, I don't know if I can remember when exactly, but I had teachers, and they verified what I was doing. We were doing together, and they verified at the same time. It's the same way I've done with my students, that I verify with them as they are seeing things. I am verifying with them that that's what is going on, and the same thing was done to me. So and you start with things that you can easily verify. And then as you do that, you gain confidence, so that when you get to things that it's difficult to verify, at least you'll know that you will be fairly accurate in what you're perceiving. As far as dealing with demons, I didn't start with that. It just came with what I was experiencing. It's just like for your work, anybody's work. The job that they have now, they were prepared to receive this job because previous jobs and employment helped prepare you for this. So it's just like anything else. You are prepared prior to being able to do that. And I'm still constantly being prepared for the next phase. I just went through a new phase just a month ago, and it's just mind-blowing. I'm trying to wrap my head around it all. It's difficult because each, almost like a quantum leap jump, you're going, God, this can't be happening. But it is. You just trying to wrap your head around it.
Is there a ramping in period, or is this kind of the, hey, it's cold water, jump in, you're going to get used to it? Or is it the kind of, I'm going to kind of wander into the ocean and let the waves splash around my ankles before I actually get totally wet?
Sometimes it's one, and sometimes it's the other. You get a little wet going forward, a little bit of experience. Like I said, just similar to the job. You can get a little bit of education here along the way, leading you up to, boom, you got a big promotion. Go for it. You're going, what? Shock. But yet, you already know that you can do it because you already had some preparation prior to, and then, boom, there it is, dropped in your lap. Wow. Okay. Let's wait a minute. Let's backpedal a little bit. Are we really here? Yeah, you're here. So now we have to, there's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but you manage to get through it. So it gets crazy, though.
But what I love about you, Ray, and I always say this, actually, it's in the description of this show, it's sense of humor, which I want to talk, I had another question, but you're laughing right now, so I really want to run off with this. There has to be a sense of humor. There has to be a sense of, this is not the end. We're going to work through this. We're going to find the next thing. Instead of a lot of the stuff that we see in the media, a lot of the stuff we see in entertainment where this is it, the family's doomed, you're cursed, and everything goes to hell, right? But when you can sit back and kind of laugh a little bit, there's some joy and there's some wisdom in that, wouldn't you say?
You got to. I mean, Theodore Roosevelt's wife, Eleanor, she said it very well. You take the light things seriously and the serious things lightly. I said, I like that. I do that. but you got to. Otherwise, you just drive yourself crazy. I mean, and I've had people call me all the time, and they say they got this going on, that going on. I think I'm going crazy. I said, don't worry about it. Crazy people don't know. They don't know it. They think they're fine. So if you think you're crazy, you're not.
Interesting. So if you think you're crazy, you're not. But what if that's not necessarily the path someone's going down, where they might think they're not crazy, but they really are?
You know, when anybody calls me and they're going through all this, I'm immediately doing a divination reading as we're talking, as we're going through, to determine those variables, and to determine what is going on. Is this real or is this Memorex? No, is this real? Or are they hallucinating? And usually I'll get right on answers and guide them to understand what is happening. My divination's gone a lot improved. I don't need a photograph to do the divination. I can do it live right on the phone. As long as I'm talking to them, they're making a connection to their voice, to their energy pattern through their voice, and I'm getting information. It's just fairly accurate. I can tell them, okay, I'm from our sort of connection that we're getting here. I'm seeing that you're having about 7 or 8, somewhere like there, demons. And the highest level is usually a level 9 at this point if they're calling, because things are in chaos mode. And if they, very rarely, I label them from 1 to 10. I don't get into all the kind of kings and dukes and all those things. That's European type thing. I just label them 1 to 10. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, of course, and usually 10s and 9s are in charge. And 10s are usually well documented in a lot of different literature, a lot of books, and a lot of 9s, and maybe a few 8s. But ones that will be in charge is a 9. The 9 will be in charge of all the other demons that the person has and the person that they are connected to. They very rarely have a 10 unless they have the influence around them of a large group of people. Then a 10 moves in and takes control of everyone and starts assigning and preparing people to receive their demons. Expand the territory. That's what they do.
When a person calls you and you're assessing these levels, are they aware of what's going around them as you're going to tell them? I mean, you're saying 1 to 10. It could be anywhere from X number of any influences around them. Are they aware of any of that, or are they just coming to you completely clean and saying, hey, I need help. I have no idea what's happening here?
Many times they think they're cursed, which having demons is a kind of curse. There's a lot of similarities. 8 or 9 times out of 10, they are not being cursed by someone in the occult using magic to harm them. Usually it's demons. Now, I tell them that. I said, they said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Well, I would much rather it be a curse from someone in the occult." And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because it takes 3 months to stop them." Yeah, that's 3 months of work compared to removing demons, which takes me by an hour. So you tell me, which would be more profitable? I'm just telling you what you have. You only have the demons. I'm not downplaying the fact that you have demons.
Sure.
They destroy your life.
Right.
They can literally destroy your life. They will attempt to make you kill yourself or create a disease in your body based on what you already have going on in your body to kill you. Either way, you eventually die, and they will have control of your spirit for all eternity, unless somebody finds out and removes them and then sends you into the light. So that's the bottom line. They try and kill you. Like I said, I had some people who have kept all knives, scissors, sharp things out of their home because they were afraid that they were going to do that. So yeah, it's a craziness out there, and to stop them, it takes someone with the experience to do that. Now, I don't know of too many people who can remove demons from somebody within an hour. I'm sure there are, but it's a challenge, and it used to take me a whole month, but I've improved. So it makes it easier.
Ray Scott, my guest here. We're talking sorcery and witchcraft, all kinds of stuff here on the Edge of the Unknown. Check out his website, sorcererforhire.com. We do have to take a break, and boy, it feels good to say that, Ray. I haven't said that in a long time. Hey, we got to take a break. This is awesome. I'm so happy to be back on the air. But I want to grab this email from Tony. And if anybody out there has a question or a comment, you can find us in live chat at Spreaker. If you go to my webpage there is a live chat. There's a couple of folks hanging out in there. We've been going back and forth. I think I might actually expand that chat room, but right now that's what we're using. If you want to get on board this here radio show, find me on Facebook, The Edge of the Unknown Radio Show. Shoot me a message there. You can also email theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com. And boy, we actually have a couple of emails coming in, so that's terrific. You can also call the show, 716-218-3357, 716-218-3557. And before we take that break, I want to grab, and boy, I'm using 3 different computers here, so I got to get back to this. Okay, yeah, love this show, fucking A. Can Ray define demons? Hey, you know what? I'm doing my own thing, so I can do whatever I want now. I have nothing else to...
Right, exactly.
Can Ray define demons? Are we talking physical demons, or are we talking vices like drug addiction, that sort of thing? Love you, brother. Love that you're back.
No.
That comes from Tony. Tony, thanks for being on the Edge of the Unknown. Ray, please.
Tony, excellent question. And usually when somebody comes to me and they have this, I immediately say, this is not a metaphor. These are real demons, the kind that if they got angry enough, they would throw you across the room. They bite you, scratch you, growl in your ear,
Wow.
And you'll be thrashing at the dark, trying to hit something, and there's nothing there. You don't see it. These are this kind. Generally, what they do, and these kind that I've been removing, they sneak into your life like a dust onto your lint onto your coat. They sneak into your life one at a time, gradually building up a large group around you until, boom, it's chaos, and they're torturing you, driving everybody away, creating anger, irritation, aggression inside your life, draining your energy so that you exhausted for unknown reasons, and all this goes on and on and on, and ruining your finances. It just utter chaos. This is not a metaphor. It's not your fault. It is real. And anybody who says you're doing this, it's all your, no, it's not your fault. You get rid of the demons, things start to calm down. Takes it to a couple of days to a week to things calm down. You might even need to get some healing type of therapy to balance things out. But things will start to smooth out. You'll still have quirks. I call it PDST, post-demonic stress disorder. Kind of like what the military goes through, but it's a demonic type. I mean, it's not easy coming out of a demonic possession unscratched, unscathed, unscarred. It takes some healing afterwards. It's not an easy job. Sometimes, many times, people don't survive it. It's sad, but yeah.
Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on The Edge of the Unknown. If you want to get on board, I just gave you some of the ways that you can do so. Sorry, I had to sneeze there for a second. The Edge of the Unknown
no
at
problem.
gmail.com. Pardon me for actually being human for a minute. The Edge of the Unknown at gmail.com. You can give us a ring, 716-218-3557. We do have to take a break. I've got a question for you when we come back. We've got some other ones in the email bag. Dave has a question from the live chat room at Spreaker.com, so we have to get to that. But I'm going to just give you the heads up. Ray, I want to just let you think about this while we take off to this break. How do the demons get in? And is it something that we're doing in our everyday life, or what's going on there? Think about that, and that's how we will open up the next segment right after this break. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. This is The Edge of the Unknown, back once again, totally stoked. Man, we've got a great lineup for you in the next couple of weeks. Michael Bastine, Pete Standish, Ben Radford, all kinds of folks. Going to be talking a little bit stuff different on a Sunday evening here on The Edge of the Unknown, theedgeoftheunknown.com. Back right after this, everybody. Stick around.
The best Japanese and Thai cuisine isn't hundreds of miles away. It's right here in the suburbs. Teton Kitchen, located at 415 Dick Road in Cheektowaga, New York, is open 7 days a week, serving the best sushi, maki, fusion style, and big maki, as well as tempura, Thai, and kushiyaki dishes. From appetizers like Buddha kimchi and tom yum soup, to pad thai and mixed grilled skewers, Teton Kitchen is your destination for the finest in Japanese and Thai food in Buffalo. Chef and owner Taka has brought his culinary skills and knowledge to Western New York, combining Japanese and the United States cooking, offering the finest in Asian delicacies. Visit their website, tetonkitchen.com, and dine in, order online, or call 716-393-3720. Delivery available. Please call for details. That's Teton Kitchen, 415 Dick Road in Cheektowaga, New York, 393-3720. tetonkitchen.com.
Did you know that vinyl records are the only consumer playback format on the planet that's fully analog and fully lossless? It's high time you join audiophiles everywhere in full fidelity listening, and you can get what you're looking for at Records, etc. There you'll find thousands of vintage vinyl records just waiting to be spun on your turntable, from blues to Zydeco. Records start as low as $3. Now open Tuesday through Thursday from 3 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 12 to 6 at two convenient locations, 6047 Transit Road in Depew and their newest store at 306 Transit Road in Lockport. From the North Towns to the South Towns, Records, etc. has you covered. Records, music memorabilia, turntables, speakers, and more. Give them a call, 481-7177. Or better yet, stop in and see for yourself why they're the best record shop in Western New York. That's Records Etc. Tunes for our times.
Hello. What are your fears? Are you badgered by domestic affairs, haunted by ghosts or demons, terrorized by those who would use magic as a weapon, or tormented from within? I can end it. I can stop it. I can cast them away, for I am a sorcerer, and protecting people from these things is what I do. Seek my services at sorcererforhire.com or call now for faster service 206-501-0444, because time is not on your side.
Are you ready for something really scary? Stop over to the campfire at Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories on YouTube to listen to the most terrifying true stories you've ever heard. Ghostly phenomena, stalkers, monsters in the woods, terror on the highways, it's all there and the stories are all true. Experience something you'd like to share? Email Uncle Josh TrueScaryStories@gmail.com to submit your terrifying tale. Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories. You can only wish the stories were a dream.
For those interested in delving deep into the paranormal, why not look into the Paratech Store? Located at paratechstore.com, browsers will find the latest in investigative equipment, books, and more. Items go beyond technical equipment. Mojo bags, stone sets, and other curiosities await your exploration at the Paratech Store, paratechstore.com. Visit them today.
And we are back here live on the Edge of the Unknown. Me, Mark Henry, your gracious and happy host this Sunday evening. Hopefully everybody is enjoying wherever they are around the round world, whether you're listening to us in Australia, across the pond in the UK, or the Great White North, or wherever you might be. It is so awesome to be back on the air bringing you the best in paranormal talk anywhere here on the Edge of the Unknown each and every Sunday from 8 to 10 Eastern. Tonight, my guest, Sorcerer Ray Scott, sorcererforhire.com. We're having an awesome discussion. We've got some questions to get to, but we left off with one. If you want to get on board this here radio program, you can email me a question, theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook. Send me a personal message there, the Edge of the Unknown radio show. Or, hey, you can even give us a call, 716-218-3557. That's 716-218-3557. Ray, again, thanks so much for being a part of this inaugural show. We're back on the air, so this is so awesome. I'm glad that you're here. But we left off with, how do the demons get in? Does it have anything to do with the way people are living, or are these just things that kind of invade their life without them even knowing what's going on, and they are completely oblivious, and all of a sudden they need help?
That's an excellent question. And a lot of times people want to know that exact same thing, especially after I've cleared them, so that they don't repeat the process. It's very tough because what they're doing is they're not instilling negative. They're bringing it out from within the person that is there already, whether it be physical stresses, diseases like cancers or things like this, or mental, emotional traumas from their own past, bringing them up to the surface so that all this negativity starts coming out of them, because humans put out a lot of energy. We're just a bio generator of electricity and energy, and we just put it all out there. But what these demons need, when they're in our area, they need negative energy to feed on, to become stronger. And we are the source of that. From their own reality, they don't need that. There's plenty of negative energy because they're negative, but they have to have negative energy to survive here. So they instill negative, bring that negative out. They will even twist reality to suit your negative tendencies. If you think somebody is always harassing you, they will twist that to make it look like everybody out there is doing the exact same thing, so that they're creating isolation, divide and conquer. Military term. They push everybody, all friends and family, away, isolate you, and control you. It's despicable. Not to quote a movie, but it is. It's crazy what they do.
How does one determine what's happening as something that you just described, rather than, gee, I'm just having a bad day, a bad month, bad quarter, bad year? When do they actually say to themselves, this might be a little bit bigger and a little bit more beyond what I thought it was at the first place?
Okay, well, to bring up what others have told me and what they've experienced, they can't get a job. They get a job, and it's almost there, and then boom, everybody changes their mind. It's like, what happened? Or they have business, they wondering what's going on, and no customers coming in. Everything is declining. People getting sick right and left, all the way around them. Things like this happening, and they keep on having reoccurring situations over and over. They feel all tense all the time. They feel agitated, angry all the time for no reason at all. It just goes on and on. They can't seem to stop it. And it's time to question what is really happening, to go to somebody who can help isolate that. A psychiatrist is not going to know. They're just going to give you some meds, talk about your childhood, the normal yada yada thing. But you gotta go to somebody. If people start feeling, it's more than just a physical thing. They start feeling that something is off. Something is really off. This is not normal. You shouldn't be going this kind of way, and it just keeps going down, 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 very rapidly. Many times people have these things for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and it comes many, many times. And I have regular things that I determine how many demons they have, what levels of demons they have, what are they causing, and how long they've had them, where they got the first one, and from who. Could be from a who. They could have got it from somebody else who had demons themselves and got one from them, or they could have got them from a bar type of place. They're very notorious for hanging out bar type of place, especially the scavengers for energies. Real low level ones, 1, 2, sometimes 3s. They will hang out in those kind of areas, scavenging for energy. I mean, they go to those places for the same reason we do. Fun, entertainment, and refreshments. Unfortunately, their fun is our pain.
Right. What about those who go to purportedly haunted places to do ghost investigations, they might go to a sanatorium, or they might go to an old museum that used to be a church, or this, that, and the other thing. Is that the kind of place that this sort of thing might actually happen to somebody who is susceptible for, so to say, what a terrible term, but bringing a monkey home on their back? Are they opening themselves up when they go on these things that they think just might be hey, this is a fun ghost hunt?
Yes and no, not necessarily. I mean, many times if there's ghosts that hang around the place, a lot of times that's all there is. Ghosts on their own, haunting a place that's vacant, isolated. There is no attraction for a demon. Now, if there's ghosts hanging around a property, a large piece of property, and they're attracted to one house because somebody in there is kind of sensitive, that attracts them to them for the reason of communication. But unfortunately, the person's not that enough sensitive to realize that. All they're doing is getting freaked out because this ghost is in there. And so it's disturbing the place, creating energy. The energy of fear gets stronger and stronger, and pretty soon you attract the attention of a demon to come in and start harvesting energy and taking a hold of these ghosts and manipulating them to create more chaos. But just because you're on a hunt to go look for ghosts doesn't necessarily mean there's a demon there. You need to check it out first to see if there's a demon there, so you won't be attaching itself to you, because that's possible. Not necessarily going to happen, but it's possible. It depends on the individuals. A lot of times people go on these things, they're pretty open, and they're pretty balanced kind of person already, not necessarily people who have negative issues, mental, emotional, that would attract a demon. Anger issues already, different issues that are out there to everybody sees and knows, that you could attract a demon to amplify those things. But a lot of times, people are doing those kind of things, they're pretty balanced. They don't have a lot of issues that's going to attract. It's not a guarantee. I mean, you could pick up on something, a lower level, to can stimulate things. You just got to be careful. Doesn't hurt to check in with somebody once in a while and make sure you're clear. Because you don't want them to get the upper hand.
Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on The Edge of the Unknown. SorcererForHire.com is his website. There is also a number for you to call. If you need his services, you can find that there. A little bit more information about him. Let's go to the chat room. Dave asked this a little bit a while ago and says, how does one know if they've been cursed?
Curse. A curse is quite similar to having demons. They can create chaos. They can destroy finances. They can destroy emotional relationships. They can destroy relationships to anybody, depending on what the curse is intended for. Many times it's a motivational thing by the person cursing you. Depending on what their issues were with you, or what maybe they were hired to do to you, because many times someone may not know how to do occult kind of work, but they can call somebody and they can hire somebody. The internet is full of people they can hire to cause chaos to anyone, and that happens a lot. What I do is, when somebody comes to me, they're not sure what's going on, I talk to them on the phone, and right from that, without even, a lot of times don't even knowing their name, I can get a connection to them and find out if is this a curse, is it demons, are the demons sent by a curse, by an occult attack, and you can get a verification of one way or another, at least right there, so we can figure out what steps to take next. If it is one or the other, and they want me to help, then I would need a picture to make a stronger connection so I can stop whatever's going on. But you have similarities of actions. The curses could do the similar things to demons. Sometimes the demons are sent from a curse to create. They send one. They send a demon. But before long, you've got 6, 7, 8, 10 demons. You could have as many as, generally, you have sets of 9, 3 sets of 3. So you'll have, in most cases, a 9. Very rarely a 10 steps in to take charge of everybody and everything. But they'll do that, especially if you are of a company, a person of a celebrity, like in a music group. They have many times will have demons on them, and they'll control them, the entire group, and many of the people around them, wherever they go. Crazy stuff.
Amazing that this is the way the show works, and I think we're having an issue with our phone number, and I'm going to try to rectify that, because I know Debbie just tried to call in, and Debbie, I want you to try to call back. She did send an email, so I'm going to try to fix that. But also from the chat room, a hooligan from across the pond asks, and this is exactly what you were just talking about, 6, 8, 10, 15. Simon says, do they target people who are destined to do something important with their lives in order to try to stop them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Not necessarily to stop them, but to what they would do. It's not so much about what you do. It's about the energy they can get. And a lot of the ones that would attach to an individual, they're lower level, not much of a game plan. The upper levels are running the show for them. There has been times where it was high levels stepped in because to manipulate the power structure of the area. To give you a case in point, power structure of a country. One biggie in the list. World War II, Hitler had his demons. A level 10 was in charge.
Okay.
And look at the chaos. The chaos. So that kind of stuff can happen. They will control and start assigning out demons to others that they make ready to receive them and to spread. It just goes on and on and on. It gives you a headache.
Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on the Edge of the Unknown, sorcererforhire.com. Go and check out his website. And again, folks, I know somebody just tried to call in again, and this is so frustrating because it is the first show that we've had back here on the Edge of the Unknown, and we're having a little bit of a technical issue. But you know what? That means the only way we can move forward is if we fix these things right now. So we're going to try to do that in the next break. But Debbie, I know that you called, and I think somebody else is trying to call in. Of course they are. But we will get to you. And, hey, we've still got a full hour to go. So let's grab another question here. Okay, P, I'll wait for your email later. That was really positive for the show. Let's go to theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com. Maggie C. in Jupiter, Florida. OMG, I am so happy you are on again. Love your show so much. Missed it terribly. Great guest. Can I ask Ray if sorcery fits into regular religious practice? I am a Universalist Unitarian, so I'm pretty open-minded, but I'm not sure if this sort of thing follows my religious practice. Thanks, Mark. Thank you for coming back. Maggie, thank you for being patient and listening tonight. It's amazing. I'm so happy that people are actually checking things out for the first show. We haven't been on since September of last year. So, Ray, Maggie in Jupiter, Florida asks you, does this fit into her religious practice?
Great question, Maggie. Thanks for calling in. That's great. In actuality, sorcery doesn't follow a religious pattern. Religion, it per se, was basically created by humans to control other humans and to educate them in the way they want them to think. So basically, it works with the spirit, and so whatever your path is, which the path is the same for every individual. The path is from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Whatever helps you along that path and keeps your energy flowing up spiritually up that path is going to be beneficial. Whatever doesn't help you along that path is not necessarily bad, but maybe it's not for you at that point in time. Sorcery thinks outside the box. You have people in the Wicca community. It's very structured. They know exactly what's going on. People in Santeria, very structured. They know what's going on. Hoodoo, not so much structured. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It constantly evolves, and wherever it finds itself, it adds to that the folklore or other people's religions into it. So it's constantly evolving. You get voodoo, which is it's very structured, so it's quite similar. And anywhere you go, sorcery kind of thinks outside the box. You're taking little bits of here and there to help you in what you are doing. So it can fit into whatever you are into. It basically, when I get people started, I don't start them where I'm at. It's like trying to start from the top of a ladder. You don't start from the top; you start from the bottom. So I give them what I call basic training. And for a lot of people that are into metaphysics, a lot of it's kind of old hat. They already understand the basics, but it structures you in a way so that you can start utilizing these as tools, and you progress as you progress, fitting your life, not mine, not somebody else's, fitting your life. And my advanced training for them is based on what their needs are, so that I can help them shape and go the direction that they're looking for. Tools for the journey.
Why do you think that, and quite frankly, this is the way that I grew up, that anything that was outside of, and this is not meaning to be an insult to anybody in the Christian or Catholic faith or whatever, that is, you have to just put your faith in Christ, and that's all there is to it, and anything else is the tools of the devil. And I think that's what Maggie is probably leaning on, rather than what's healthiest for you. And is it really leaning on something terrible if it's not only Christ or God as you believe it to be and what you actually feel in your faith?
Yeah. There's a lot of people have issue with that, and I've helped a lot of people in a lot of religions, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, you name it. I've helped them in that, and I talked to them as this is just purely energy, which everything is energy and everything is connected. So if you look at it as energy, and we're just manipulating energy. It's much the same way as somebody in Reiki, somebody in acupuncture, somebody in a lot of healing modalities. It's manipulating the energy. I much do the same thing, except on a larger scale. Like if I'm getting rid of demons, most of my clients are on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So I don't commute. I'm able to do it. Just give a picture, the place, a person, a building, and I'm able to remove it within an hour. And people say, "Oh, they laugh at me, they scoff at me, they say that's not possible. You're crazy." I said, "Really?" Well, a lot of people I've helped would have a tendency to think otherwise because they know they've experienced. It's like people don't believe in ghosts because they've never experienced one. So the same thing with the demon. If you never experienced one, you would tend to scoff at the idea. But
well, Ray,
I'm
on the East Coast, and now you're terrifying me because you're telling me that there's more demons on the East Coast than there are on the West Coast.
Not necessarily. I think more people are aware. More people are aware of their surroundings because it's been a melting pot of so many more people over there than over on the West Coast. Now we're getting more people from Asia, and they're very, very familiar with this kind of stuff going on. But that's only in the last not as long as the East Coast. East Coast has had a lot more people come over there from countries that embrace the occult side, at least enough to be aware of it. In some countries, they have a police force that does nothing except arrest and prosecute people in the occult. Period. That's what they do.
Right. We've got to take a break here because we've got one more hour to go, so we're going to take a half. Just admit it, Ray. Everybody on the East Coast, I'm in New York. We're all pricks, is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. No, from coast to coast, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of wars, a lot of conflicts going back a long time. A lot of hauntings, which attracts a lot of demonic activity to take that energy. So, yeah, it's chaos. Yeah.
You're listening to The Edge of the Unknown. Ray Scott, my guest this evening. First show back in, quite a long time. Actually, I think it was last August, but we are talking sorcery, witchcraft. We're talking demons. We would love to hear from you. Something's going on with the phones, and I apologize for that. We're going to see if we can fix that in this break. 716-218-3557. I see calls are coming in and they're immediately going to voicemail, so I'm not really sure why that's happening. But, hey, there's other ways that you can get on board this here radio program. The Edge of the Unknown at gmail.com is the email address. Find me on Facebook, The Edge of the Unknown Radio Show. You can also give us a call or send us a message via the live chat room at Spreaker.com. Look for my show page there. And as well as that chat room is working, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to bring another chat room to the website, theedgeoftheunknown.com. If you're listening there, I hope all is well and everything is smooth. So we have to take a fast break here, pay some bills. We're going to be back for another hour as we take you up until 10 o'clock here on this Sunday evening with Sorcerer Ray Scott. Cool group of cats coming up. In the next couple of weeks, we'll talk a little bit about that before we sign off for this evening. And, of course, I want to remind everybody to see my side project on YouTube, Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories. It's a little bit different than what we're doing here, but it's also really, really cool. So I hope you guys check that out. More with Sorcerer Ray Scott on The Edge of the Unknown right after this. Everybody, don't go nowhere.
Siggy's Good Food in Manhattan sets the standard for home-style comfort food in a warm and casual environment. Located at 292 Elizabeth Street between Houston and Bleecker, Siggy's Good Food offers something for everyone. Vegetarian and meat eaters alike will find dozens of dishes to whet their palates and satisfy their appetites at great prices. Siggy's menu has many gluten-free and lactose-free dishes too, and everything is made with 100% organic, sustainable, and whole food ingredients. See the full menu at siggysgoodfood.com or call 212-226-5775. Make it your business to check out Siggy's Good Food, open Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10:30 p.m., with brunch on the weekends from 11 until 3:30. Takeout and delivery are also available. That's Siggy's Good Food in Manhattan, siggysgoodfood.com, 212-226-5775. And remember, if you're an extraterrestrial, aliens eat free.
We all face multiple stressors each day, from work deadlines and home and family obligations, not to mention body aches and pains that come with both active and inactive lifestyles. A great way to ease those tensions is by floating at the Silver Essence Floating Spa in Williamsville, New York. What is floating? It's a highly effective and therapeutic relaxation experience in which your body is suspended in warm, comforting salt water without stimulation from lights or sounds. Lay back and let tension drift away as you float in nearly zero gravity while your body is replenished with essential minerals like magnesium, potassium, sodium, and calcium, minerals vital to our health that are lost throughout the day. Floating at the Silver Essence Floating Spa is great for anyone, athletes, those rehabilitating from injury, or if you're just looking for a new way to relax. Floating is even known to increase creativity and speed up the healing process. Silver Essence is open Monday through Saturday with convenient morning and evening hours, and they offer infrared sauna treatments, membership deals, special packages, and much more. Check them out online at silveressencefloatingspa.com or call 716-568-7985. Conveniently located in downtown Williamsville. They're just minutes from anywhere. That's the Silver Essence Floating Spa. Get your float on and tell them you heard about them on The Edge of the Unknown.
If you live in the Western New York or Southern Ontario area and are into body art, then you've got to check out the pros at Sixth Order Tattoo. 3503 Genesee Street in Cheektowaga, New York, 716-633-7171. Look, there's a lot of places to get ink, but you're not going to find the talent and dedication to perfection anywhere else than at Sixth Order. Shop owner Chris Coppola and artist Joe Fomar and Andy Biscaglia are proficient in many tattoo styles, including traditional American, Japanese, modern Polynesian, illustrated tattoos, portrait tattoos, you name it. Know what you want? They can do it. Need some help with the design? These are the guys to talk to. Make no mistake, these cats are artists in the truest sense of the word, and it shows in the work hanging on the walls and on the bodies of their satisfied customers. I recently had Joe Fulmar ink a piece for me, my 5th at Sixth Order, and I'm telling you, I trust no one else other than Joe and the crew at Sixth Order. Give them a call today, 716-633-7171, or stop in to set an appointment, 3503 Genesee Street in Cheektowaga. Also, see them online at sixthordertattoo.com and find them on Facebook. That's Sixth Order Tattoo, the only place for ink in Western New York.
Looking for the best in vintage women's clothing? You're only a click away from the Vintage Underground Shop. VintageUndergroundShop.com. The finest dresses, skirts, coats, and two-piece outfits from the cool side of yesterday are waiting for you at VintageUndergroundShop.com. Vintage brands including Valentino, Ann Fogarty, Barney's New York, and more are waiting for you at VintageUndergroundShop.com. We search the globe to find the coolest casual and fine clothing you're looking for. It's what we do best at the Vintage Underground Shop. Questions about sizing or looking for a specific item? Call 206-225-8067 and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Vintage Underground Shop, where the past is your style.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of The Edge of the Unknown here. My name is Mark Henry. Thanks for hanging out with me late on a Sunday evening. My guest, Sorcerer Ray Scott, is on the line. We're going to take you up until 10 o'clock Eastern Time here. And for everybody who is asking, yes, everything will be archived. Everything will be at Spreaker.com at my page there. It will also be the latest show that you can listen to at theedgeoftheunknown.com. If you go to theedgeoftheunknown.com and click on Archives, there will be a link to my YouTube page, and you can check that out there. And wow, this is awesome to be back on the air with a great guest. And as I was telling Ray, I had to kind of move around where I normally do my show from, and Lance, the paranormal pup, is bothering me, and I think there's a thunderstorm rolling into town because this is the only time that my thunder buddy comes over, and he's now hiding under the table. He's 14 years old. He is the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. He is my paranormal pup. He has been on investigations with me, but all of a sudden he is now curling himself around my feet. Yes, hi. And this reminds me of the time Holy cats, all the way back in 2010 when I was broadcasting on WECK here in town, which is back under new ownership, which is cool, and I wish them all the best of luck. But when the Edge of the Unknown started out, we were on terrestrial radio at WECK 102.9, and boy, I forget what the AM signal was, but doesn't make a difference. But I brought Lancer with me, and there was a terrible, terrible thunderstorm, and it was like that episode of Looney Tunes where the dog ends up on Porky Pig's head. It's the same thing now. He is 14 years old. He is a big dog. He's the sweetest thing ever, but he just does not like thunder. So all of a sudden he came over. Here he is sitting on my feet. Good boy. Love you, buddy. Thanks for being part of the inaugural Come Back to the Airwaves show of The Edge of the Unknown. Ray Scott, my guest, Sorcerer for Hire.com. Ray, I hope you are enjoying your evening so far.
Yes, definitely. Oh, that's always great. And you got a pal to share it with.
I do. Here he is. He was over in the living room, and now all of a sudden he's sitting right here with me, which is fine. My little fuzzy bottom. So we're having some issues with the phone. Everybody keeps getting sent right to voicemail. So I think that's going to be something I'm going to have to take care of after this, which I apologize for, Ray. I thought this would have been something a little bit different. But so what we're going to do...
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to start this hour off with Debbie Farrow. She wrote in because she was trying to call in to give her testimony on the blessings that you have given her. She tried for 20 years with various psychics to have her demons removed, constantly being physically hit and tortured by demons. She says she was desperate for help. She contacted you, and in 1 hour, they were gone. Debbie, I would love to connect with you. I will try in the next break to see if we can actually connect the two phone numbers that you gave me. But for some reason, people are calling in, and it's immediately going to voicemail. But Debbie, what a wonderful testimony. Ray, obviously you're familiar with Debbie. Can you talk a little bit about what she just said?
Yeah, she has had them since early childhood, and not only she had people trying to help her, but she was also used and abused by people that said they were helping but weren't, and manipulated, and it cost her literally thousands and thousands of dollars going into debt. So it's a tragic situation. She took a chance. She said she saw my picture. Said, "Well, he looks kind." I thought that was good. I liked that. She's a sweet person, and I helped her, found out what was going on, and removed them. And so yeah, it's just changed her life. I mean. She, at one point, she said, "I can actually," which got me, and it kind of says a lot. She said, "I can actually feel the warmth of the sun." I go, "What? Warmth of the sun?" She said, "I could always feel the heat.
Wow.
But never the warmth, the comfortableness of the sun." I said, "Wow." And look at what we take for granted. I mean, it makes you think. You said, "Good grief!" You never really think about that. It's just an automatic thing. You go down to feel the warmth of the sun, tanning on the beach, or just playing in it. You never really. I mean, unless it's a really, really hot day, but you never think about that. It's interesting.
So thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wish that we could have actually taken that call. That would have been very, very interesting. Well, you're going to be on again in the future, so maybe we can reconnect with Debbie, and then she can come on. And I apologize for a little bit of the glitches, but Ray, when you talk about that with someone who gets that kind of satisfaction, have you ever dealt with someone who doesn't get that kind of satisfaction? And I don't want to talk about failures, but I want to talk about having to put shoulder to the ball, foot to the ground, whatever you want to talk about, that kind of thing where you actually have to really work, and it's not something that happens instantly. It's not something that happens in an hour. Talk us through something that you do that maybe takes a little bit longer, a little bit more sensitivity, maybe a little bit more of the energy that you bring to this world.
Probably the worst of the worst would be someone who is being cursed magically. Somebody using the occult as a weapon to bring harm to somebody. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that going on. And it's not someone doing it themselves, but they're hiring somebody to do it for them. If they're hiring somebody, usually there's a time frame on that because pretty soon they're going to, run out of funds or don't want to pay for it anymore. But if they're doing it themselves, depending on their motivation, their skill level, how determined they are to ruin your life, it could go on for, right now, currently, at least about 3 months before I've stopped them. It used to take me a couple of years, but I've improved, and now 3 months. In actuality, over the last month or so, big changes have happened, and I've been able to do it in an hour. I don't know how. I don't question. The spirits I work with allow me to do this. We stop it. Destroying people's lives that they've been facing for sometimes years. There's one case, this lady was being cursed by this one lady for over 40 years. I'm saying, well, how can somebody be so angry at somebody for 40 years? It doesn't make sense. But she was sending demons to this person. I clear them out. She would send more. I'd clear them out. I said, my gosh, what the heck is going on? I had to find out who was sending it, stop it, and it finally was able to resolve the whole thing and stop it from continuing. Crazy. I think people who do that, have using the occult as a weapon, are a little bit of a, you might call it, psychopaths. I mean, they don't go and physically harm, but they use the occult to do it for them. So,
do you often run
that's
into?
What you call crazy.
Do you often run into that, or is that something that's less frequent than the normal, other cases and folks that you deal with?
I clear out, like I was mentioning, give or take 15 to 25 demon cases a month. But curses, I've got currently about 7 cases going, and some of them have multiple attackers. One will start, and then if they're not making success, then they will bring on a friend or hire somebody to help. And I've had several that have 3 and 4 attackers attacking them at the same time. One person was being attacked by a group of 4 people at one time, making great success, but the person had been under such torment for over 10 years. It becomes a battle when you do this. It becomes a battle, and sometimes during the process, it gets a bit worse before it gets better. Unfortunately, at that point in time, now it's not so much. I can stop them a lot quicker. But at that point in time, it gets worse before it gets better. And they couldn't handle the pressure. So I eventually was able to do it quicker, but it was to a point where she couldn't handle it anymore. So she wanted me to stop. So, okay, I stopped. The person is in control. They pay, I work, they stop, I stop. You want me to stop? Okay, I'll stop, no problem. So yeah, it is a battle. Now, with the demons, if somebody's had demons for a long time, just because they're gone doesn't mean all the negative stuff that they brought up is gone, because it's your stuff. Mm-hmm. What is that old saying? Know thyself. Well, they're helping you to know that ugliness that's within you. They bring it up to the surface, and now it's not small little stuff. Now it's in your face, big stuff. So they can be dealt with. Calm down. I give people instructions how to go about this, and I offer them healing. I said, or they can, if they have somebody who knows healing, and it would be helpful to go get your chakras balanced and some healing work done. If you have people that you're familiar with, I can do that. But healing work before the demons are gone, it's not going to work. The demons will stop all that, make it impossible to accomplish. You have to get rid of one before you can start the other.
Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on The Edge of the Unknown. SorcererForHire.com. Go there to check out everything that he does and what he offers. Ray, man, this is such a weird question to ask, but
it's okay. I get a lot of them.
I'm sure you do, right? And I'm hoping that we're fixing this Skype problem too, so people can actually call the show. But I got to ask you this: when you just said what you said, is it healthy for demons to come into somebody's life sometimes to bring attention to things that they may not necessarily have been paying attention to before, that maybe were really attacking them or bringing them down on the inside, outside, whatever it might be? So while we can say these are demons, they also might be bringing light, bringing someone like you into their life to get them back on track. Is that a crazy thing to think?
No, because people in demonology, not demonology, it's like the difference between a geologist and somebody who studies geology. A person studies the books, but never gets in the field and gets their hands dirty. So a demonologist is a person who works with demons, and they will tell you that a demon is it seems as a symbol for the divine. At one point in time before Christianity, yeah, demons and angels were there, but they were not necessarily these are good, these are bad. They are all part of the energy flow. It's just like yin and yang. There is, just because one is depicted as being white and the other one is black doesn't mean one is bad or one is good. It's just swirling energies of positive and negative, and how you perceive them, how you utilize them, it makes a difference. It's like a gun. It's a hunk of metal. If you didn't know what it was, you might use it for a hammer if you didn't know what it was. So
right.
How you use it makes a difference. This is like magic. It's neither white, gray, black. It's just energy. How you use it determines what it becomes. If you're using it for dark, evil destruction, well, obviously that must be that aspect of what you could call black. If you're using it for healing and going that direction, that could be for gray. If you were depicted as wanting to use white magic, that's doing nothing at all. You're allowing, okay, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Just allow it to be. So that's allowing that aspect happening. But if you're going to take charge and start manipulating and utilizing it for your own growth and development, then you are doing some sort of a magic in your wanting your direction. And basic prayers do that. Prayer, spell, much the same. It's just a different category, different classification. They both use candles for different purposes. They both have incense of some sort. They do some kind of ritual. And so it's quite similar. It's just a different classification. One is neither good, and one is neither bad. It's the end result that is the denominator, is what it is. So it's not going to say what determines what end result is. It's how you use it. So,
Ray, have you ever talked to someone or worked with someone where you thought, man, I'm in over my head, this is out of my league? Or have you ever had to call in a colleague, a mentor, or a teacher to a specific case where it was something that was a little bit more intense, a little bit beyond anything that you've ever dealt with before?
Relationships. I don't advertise on my site that I do relationships. Somebody comes to me, they want help from relationships. I said, relationships are tough in the best of circumstances.
Right.
Magic or not. I said, love is magic all by itself. Either it's there or it's not. You don't want to use magic to manipulate somebody to care for you. That gets along the lines of Stepford wives or Stepford husbands. That is making a puppet out of them. And if you start doing that, you have to be so subtle that it starts bringing them to you subtly. If you try to force it, they'll freak and run. And I've had that. They just literally freak and run multiple states away. And I tried to tell them, I said, you can't push people around doing this. It's not right. And a lot of times they say, I want this person like me. I said, okay, are you dating? No. Have you talked to her? No. I said, well, what the heck? You got to at least go up and say, hi, how you doing? My name is such and such. Glad to know you. You got to do something.
In every walk of life, especially, my day job, I work in communications and I work in the educational system. So, I have to meet with lots of different people, do lots of different things. We always have professional development. What do you do as far as professional development to make sure that you're giving the services that you can at the best and highest level that you can?
Excellent question. Perfect question. Because I do that. Especially if somebody is being cursed. It's a long process. We establish 2 appointments per week. I call them on the same time, the same day, each week. The people tell me, says, my gosh, I can set my clock by you. I said, I have an alarm clock to keep me on track. We talk. I set a time that usually the top of the hour, giving plenty enough time to all their questions, even if it goes to a full hour. But usually, basically, I'm just trying to make contact to see how it's going, to hear what's going on with them so that I can fine-tune what I'm doing to help them along their way and answer any questions that they might have. It's basically a counseling session to help them through the process. Many times, people they see nothing happening. But yet, in the course of talking to them, they're telling me things are happening. So I have to show them. I said, see, you told me this has occurred. That is going in a positive direction that we are wanting. And then they go, whoa, you're right. Oh, my gosh, I didn't even notice. So that's what these phone calls are so important. And to get them on a positive thinking page, because a lot of people are going through all this trauma. They start thinking negatively about themselves, their life, and everything in it. So I start getting them turned around to view things as positive. Think about the end result of what you want this to be, because nothing else matters in all this journey except the end result of this situation. How do you want that to be? You need to live that end result. You need to be in that end result. You need to feel that end result is happening. And everything in the universe, you'll become like a magnet, drawing everything to you to create that end result. We got to get you to going that way. Positive end result. And that's basically what we do. It's a counseling session, educational session, much like you do. You got to put that in there so that we're all working together, not me doing this and you doing your way. That's pulling apart because it's not my life we're changing. We're changing the person I'm trying to help. We're trying to change his life. So he has to get on the same page so that I can help him improve his life. Even if it's just to bring in more money, then I do that. I help people bring in more abundance, more money. And you got to get them thinking properly. I had this one client who was out of work for over a year. They said, I sent out these resumes. I keep on getting rejection letters. I said, no, they're not rejection letters. They're not. 500 people showed up to get one job. Somebody has got to get it, obviously. Unfortunately, you are not the one. It's not rejection. Thinking of it as rejection puts a negative connotation on everything that occurs. Rejection, rejection, rejection. It's a positive thing. If you want to win a contest, then every single contest that you personally run across, you should enter. And you will win something. It doesn't matter what it is, but you will win. But you don't go out of your way. Just whatever you come across that you can enter, you do it and you will win. So positive. Think of the end result, positive.
Isn't that the hardest thing to actually get through to people, though, is positivity?
It is.
And staying positive? Because, I mean, we all have downtime. We all have down periods, but we have to maintain that positive thinking because, tomorrow's... I mean, this is the thing that I hate when I talk about positivity because it's like, hey... I'd give you the old chuck on the shoulder. Tomorrow's another day. It sounds so dumb and cliche, but the truth is that only positivity, whether we're talking about the paranormal, if you don't believe in the paranormal, it's still the same thing that you have to wake up every day and attack life with.
Exactly. And what's the alternative? Being depressed, thinking your life is miserable and nothing is going to happen. That's the alternative? No. You have to, in order to go forward and make something of your life, you have to focus on what you want. Have a goal that you want and see yourself achieving it. Not going to achieve it, but achieved it. Doesn't matter if the reality doesn't fit the vision. The vision must come first. A chair that you might be sitting in was a vision first. Then it became reality. Build a schematic, got the materials, built it, and shaped it. Bam, there's the thing. But it started as a vision. Your whole life must be created the same way, as a vision of what you want. You are the creators of your universe. Every choice you make creates a new reality. 2 jobs, possibilities. Take this one or that one. Different reality. Each one goes a different path, different direction. You choose. People are always saying, take responsibility for your choices. Yes, you do. Every moment of the day, that's the only thing we have is free will to choose. That's it. That's all we do all day long. Choose.
That's it. Tomorrow I'm eating a bowl of grape nuts first thing when I wake up. Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on The Edge of the Unknown. Sorry, we have to add a little bit of humor. We've got another segment to go. We do have to take a break. Ray, this is why I love having you on, because you have a sense of humor and you know that this is supposed to be fun and informative. But Sorcerer for Hire. SorcererForHire.com is the website that you guys need to go and check out. We're working on the Skype issue. Hopefully we're going to fix that. I'm going to do a little test here in this break, but we've got much more coming up before we take you up until 10 o'clock Eastern Time here on The Edge of the Unknown. Archives will be up at Spreaker.com. They're going to be on YouTube, also on my webpage, theedgeoftheunknown.com. Hey, if you've got a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. The Edge of the Unknown at gmail.com. The phone number, if we can get this stupid thing to work, is 716-218-3557. But if not, hey, we're still having a great conversation. We're talking about sorcery, witchcraft, and we're going to get to a couple of emails here. Let's see. The Sweet Southern Belle and Penny, we've got some emails from you, so we're going to get to those in just a short second. So everybody, stick around. Quick break. We'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for sticking around for, almost 9 months off the air. We're back here on The Edge of the Unknown. My name is Mark. We'll be right back.
The best Japanese and Thai cuisine isn't hundreds of miles away. It's right here in the suburbs. Teton Kitchen, located at 415 Dick Road in Cheektowaga, New York, is open 7 days a week, serving the best sushi, maki, fusion style, and big maki, as well as tempura, Thai, and kushiyaki dishes. From appetizers like Buddha kimchi and tom yum soup, to pad thai and mixed grilled skewers, Teton Kitchen is your destination for the finest in Japanese and Thai food in Buffalo. Chef and owner Taka has brought his culinary skills and knowledge to Western New York, combining Japanese and the United States cooking, offering the finest in Asian delicacies. Visit their website, tetonkitchen.com, and dine in, order online, or call 716-393-3720. Delivery available. Please call for details. That's Teton Kitchen, 415 Dick Road in Cheektowaga, New York, 393-3720. tetonkitchen.com.
Did you know that vinyl records are the only consumer playback format on the planet that's fully analog and fully lossless? It's high time you join audiophiles everywhere in full fidelity listening, and you can get what you're looking for at Records, etc. There you'll find thousands of vintage vinyl records just waiting to be spun on your turntable, from blues to Zydeco. Records start as low as $3. Now open Tuesday through Thursday from 3 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 12 to 6 at two convenient locations, 6047 Transit Road in Depew and their newest store at 306 Transit Road in Lockport. From the North Towns to the South Towns, Records, etc. has you covered. Records, music memorabilia, turntables, speakers, and more. Give them a call, 481-7177. Or better yet, stop in and see for yourself why they're the best record shop in Western New York. That's Records, etc. Tunes for our times.
Hello. What are your fears? Are you badgered by domestic affairs, haunted by ghosts or demons, terrorized by those who would use magic as a weapon, or tormented from within? I can end it. I can stop it. I can cast them away, for I am a sorcerer, and protecting people from these things is what I do. Seek my services at sorcererforhire.com or call now for faster service, 206-501-0444, because time is not on your side.
Are you ready for something really scary? Stop over to the campfire at Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories on YouTube to listen to the most terrifying true stories you've ever heard. Ghostly phenomena, stalkers, monsters in the woods, terror on the highways, it's all there and the stories are all true. Experience something you'd like to share? Email Uncle Josh TrueScaryStories@gmail.com to submit your terrifying tale. Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories. You can only wish the stories were a dream.
For those interested in delving deep into the paranormal, why not look into the Paratech Store? Located at paratechstore.com, browsers will find the latest in investigative equipment, books, and more. Items go beyond technical equipment. Mojo bags, stone sets, and other curiosities await your exploration at the Paratech Store, paratechstore.com. Visit them today.
And welcome back, everybody. I just realized I haven't played any of my rejoins which is okay, because I know I have a Ray Scott rejoin, which he says, hey, this is Ray Scott, and you're listening to The Edge of the Unknown, but that's okay, because this is the first time I've been on the air since August of last year. Thanks for hanging out with me late on a Sunday evening, and yes, indeed, ladies and gents, we have Sorcerer Ray Scott on the line, and we've got one more segment to go before we have to sign off. I appreciate everybody checking the show out. There's an issue that we're having with Skype, and normally we don't have this issue, but I'm going to have to fix this up this week. And as I kind of said at the beginning, this is sort of a tease. I will not be live next Sunday because next Sunday is my anniversary with the wonderful Mrs. Henry, and I want to have another anniversary after this one, so we're going to just take care of that. And right, so as Ray is laughing in the background, yeah, any guy out there knows exactly. Let's just keep everything, rolling smooth. And yeah, so I will not be on next Sunday, but this will be up for archives. And I will tell you, first weekend of August, we're going to have medium Pete Standish. He is going to be talking all things mediumship. In the following weeks, we are going to have deputy editor of Skeptical Inquirer magazine, author, and just general interesting and paranormal investigator guy, Ben Radford. He is going to be joining us, as is my good friend, Algonquin healer and elder Michael Bastine. We're going to be talking about Native American folklore and wisdom. That's going to be awesome, and there's so much more to come. I actually just got off the phone this afternoon with Richard Southall, so we're going to be talking to him. Nick Redfern, I'm pretty sure, is going to be coming on. And you know what? I'm so happy that Ray Scott has kicked things off tonight. Ray, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to be part of The Edge of the Unknown and going through this test period. And I cannot thank you enough. It's just been a blast. We've still got some time, but I don't know what else to say. You have been a supporter of this show. You're a sponsor of this show, and it's just amazing to have you back on the air.
Well, thank you. I started with you a long time ago, but I didn't even know it was the very first time ever. It was great. We had lots of fun.
And we
I
still
think that was only an hour show, but
which is good. Actually, Deb Furrow just sent me a message at theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com. She just said, thanks for mentioning. Would have loved to talk to alleviate anyone's concern about contacting Ray and his help. Ray does teach well and counsel during his meetings bi-weekly. He is always prompt, and I learned so much. My life has drastically improved because of Ray. Debbie, again, thanks so much. I wish we could have got your call on. I tried a test during the break, and there's something that's not going right, so we're going to yell at the Microsoft people this week and make sure that we're okay the next time we're going live. So let's do this. We've got a couple of emails to get to. theedgeoftheunknown@gmail.com. If you're listening at Spreaker.com on my page, there is a live chat room, and there's a couple of guys going back and forth in there. But let's see here. Oh, goodness. P writes in. So I was actually avoiding this, and P is the resident massive skeptic, but I'm glad he's here. He writes in, it's about time you came back, you dick. Thank you, P. I appreciate that. That was awesome. Okay, good. Woohoo! We're rolling in good emails tonight. So
we're having fun now.
Gee whiz. Hey, what are you going to do? I can't keep them from coming in, and I'm not going to not read them. So let's go to Sweet Southern Belle. Sweet Southern Belle writes in, we are so happy you're back on the air. We believed you the whole time. Okay. Greetings from San Diego. Please ask Mr. Scott about voodoo and what is hoodoo. How does that work into all of this? I'm originally from Louisiana, and a lot of people believe in voodoo stuff down there. Love you, Mark. Thanks again. Sweet Southern Belle. Sweet Southern Belle, thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me and Mr. Ray Scott. Ray, voodoo? Hoodoo?
Yeah,
what's
some
that
good
all
questions
about?
there. Yeah, I'm sure he heard a lot about hoodoo and voodoo down there. That's big time territory there. I get a lot of business from Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, all those places down there. Help a lot of folks dealing with for the most part a lot of demons, but usually if it's they have their favorite people that they go to, either a hoodoo or voodoo person. Voodoo is more of a religious type of thing. It is involved with a lot of spirit activity, and it's a very well structured and very well done. It's very old, goes back all the way to Africa. It is introducing here along with the things that hoodoo. Hoodoo comes all the way from Africa as well, but it originality, but it has grown to embrace a lot of Christianity and Catholicism in with that, as well as a lot of times it's not called hoodoo. A lot of times it's called root work. It comes with a basic handed down from generation to generation magic that people have done for centuries, and from their countries, sometimes European countries, sometimes African countries, sometimes south of the border, Cuban and Mexico, and every place it goes to throughout the United States, it becomes a little different. So a lot of times it's just basically called root work. It's the basics of ancestral type of magic that's handed down from generation to generation, but which incorporates some of the voodoo. Sometimes, and many times they call it voodoo, so that it incorporates a lot of things. Voodoo is usually just what they do, but sometimes it has a lot of hoodoo type things. They use herbs, and spells, and things to improve their lives, to make improvements in other people's lives. But sometimes I get people who have used it for bad purposes, to curse others, and it's just people. People are people. There's good people, bad people everywhere you go. Doesn't matter what belief system they have. Doesn't matter where they come from. Basically, people are people, and they do things the way they want to do. So I've had to come work and stop them from harming others, because they're trashing people's lives. So that sometimes happens. So, but hopefully that helps. There's a lot of things. You can Google it. What is voodoo? What is voodoo? And you'll get some definitions from Wikipedia and things like that. From different sites will describe it. And so I gave you the basics. There's a lot of spirit activity that's used, ancestral spirits that are used to help whatever's going on. It can be complex or it can be simple, but it depends on the group that you're working with. But that's the basis of it there. Hopefully that helps.
Sorcerer Ray Scott on with me here on the Edge of the Unknown, sorcererforhire.com. Check him out there. If you need immediate services, he has a phone number that you can ring him at. Ray, have you ever been in a situation where you've turned someone away and just said, you know what? No, this is not something that I want to handle?
I figure if somebody comes to me with a situation, I am meant to help them with it for as long as it goes. Sure. But not everybody wants me to do everything for them. They only want to do a little bit. And sometimes they don't want me to do anything, a lot of times people don't want to send me a picture. That's okay. Then I probably can't do anything for them anyway. So as far as not wanting to do something for them, no, I've never come across that. There may be sometime in the future. I know some people have been tough to get along with because they get very rigid in their thought processes and cannot wrap their head around what is happening. And I've been told that this is still happening. And I'm saying, no, this is PTSD. the spirits are gone. But what becomes hard, what becomes very hard, is when they have demons sent by a curse, and the curse is coming in also. So you've got a huge thing going on. You can get rid of the demons, but the curse is still going, so you have to block it out, and it doesn't get blocked out as quickly as you would like. I mean, nowadays, in the last month, I've learned how to stop it quicker. But in most cases, it takes a while. It depends on financial able to do it takes a heck of a lot more intensity to stop somebody in a short amount of time. If the person is patient and many times they're not, because this curse has been going on for a while, and they want to stop yesterday.
Right, of course.
I can understand that.
You're a human being, right?
It does take time.
Right, you're a human being. You want everything done 5 times over, 6 days ago, and I mean, that's just the way that we are. We've talked a lot about how you talk with folks online or you talk over the phone. Do you actually ever meet folks in person who are in the area that you're dispensing your services?
Rarely, but I have. I don't have an office. I work from home.
Right. Does it make a difference?
So we go and meet someplace.
I mean, would it make a difference if someone was sitting across the table from you face to face, or whether or not you're doing what you're doing the way that you're doing it right now? Does it really make a difference?
It makes a difference. It does make a difference, because when I'm facing them face to face, I'm focused on them.
Sure.
And what they're saying. I don't do anything else. It's like when I'm talking to them on the phone, everything else gets put away, and I'm just focused on you and answering your questions and concerns. Nothing else. If the phone rings, I got a caller waiting, it's okay. Voicemail will take it. I will not get disturbed from talking to you. You are the most important thing right now. I want to help you in any way I can. And the best way I can do that when I'm talking to them on the phone or in person is to put aside everything else and focus on you.
Ray, that is a skill, but that is a skill in and of itself. I'm talking to you and I'm running this show, so there's a million other things that I have to do, but I also have to be an attentive interviewer. But it's so hard to actually focus in on the one thing that you're supposed to do with the person who is right in front of you, whether they're sitting across the table or on the phone. That takes a very special person. Do you feel that your ability to do that kind of sets you apart from the rest of the world, where people really don't want to ever have to do that, whether they can or it just makes them feel uncomfortable that they actually have to focus on one solitary thing?
Well, I've spent a lot of years doing just that. I used to teach martial arts for 30 years at a Boys and Girls Club locally. And when I'm helping a student, I focus just on them to make sure that they're able to do what we're trying to do in the simplest possible way, because it's not just about education for the individual, but it's also I'm learning how to educate them. So the same thing when I'm talking to people or I'm helping people, whether it's face-to-face or on the phone, it's about me also learning how to portray, how to say it in a way that will help them understand. And usually I try and make a little humorous kind of thing in there. I used to do pest control too, insect types. And I would tell people how the ants are coming in here because they need a home. And you have all the heat. Or the rodents are getting your crawl space because, you've got heat and you've got a nice, warm, cozy little crawl space, and they're going to grow in there. I said, and they usually get a laugh out of it, and it softens everything. I said, but that's what they do. And they go out shopping, and they bring back to their pantry. That's what they do. They go out shopping to bring it back to their pantry, just like us. So you put it in a way that they can help understand in as simple as way as possible. And if we meet face to face, I can do that. It's not like I'm going to be able to do a reading. I will get some feel for what's going on, but mainly it's so that they can see me and feel comfortable working with me. It's their perception that they want. It's their comfortableness that they're looking for, because they've heard of me, or they got referral from me to see me, or we talked on the phone or something. But they want to feel comfortable talking to me, and usually on the phone, if we're only talking on the phone, sometimes I only communicate with people by email because they're in another country, and the time zones are way off, so we only communicate by emails. Sometimes we only communicate by text messages.
Sure, right.
So it's a variety, but the work still gets accomplished, and it's not a rush thing. I do a reading. Okay, you got demons. I don't pressure the person. They're under enough pressure as it is. I tell them, you decide when you are. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm not going to pressure you. You're in enough turmoil as it is. I don't want to add to that. So you take your time. Whenever you're comfortable, whenever you're ready, I'll be here. That's it. Every single person I talk to, it's the same way. I have a tendency to merge in with their energy, so I start being able to feel what's going on. It's the opposite of a doctor. A doctor has to keep objective. I have to feel what they're feeling. If they upset stomach, my stomach starts getting upset. I feel their pain, so I can heal them, so I can move the energy. When my stomach feels better, I know they're feeling better.
Much more deeper than just regular empathy, where you're like, boy, I feel the way that you feel. You're actually feeling the way that they feel.
Oh yeah, that can be very bad. If they got a flu, I start getting that. I had a lady who I was helping. She had what was that called? Yeast infection. Oh my gosh! I said, no. I'm getting too connected here. That hurts.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Ick.
Oh, yes. Let's not do that again, okay?
No, of course. Please, no. I don't even want to think of that. Let's do this. We've got a couple.
I got rid of it within 24 hours, she said, "Yeah, I was gone 24 hours." I said, "Was that normal?" She said, "No way. It usually takes a few days, even with medication."
That was cranberry juice.
Okay,
I didn't say that. Okay, anyway.
What do I know?
This is terrible. We've got a couple of minutes left. We're going to go longer because I'm having fun. I've got 2 emails that I want to get to, and I know that you've got things to do, but Scribe11 wrote in.
I'm here for you.
This is awesome. Scribe or Scribe11 wrote in and said, the best story of many I can relate about Ray is when I had a business situation where a particular woman was going to be in my way, in a very big way. In fact, if she was going to remain in the situation, I'm sure I would have failed. Worst yet, she was hired by the boss, as well as a good friend of his. She was completely entrenched in the situation. I called Ray. It was only after about 3 months later, after a very successful completion of the job, that I realized the woman had disappeared from the entire company. The job, which I can't mention here, was so intense that I didn't have time to do anything but focus and do the work. It was only after I was done that I noticed she was no longer involved in even the slightest way. Turns out shortly after we met, she moved on to another project. I have no question that this was Ray's work. Scribe 1, thank you so much for emailing that in. Ray, that's testimony to your work.
Wow. And the description of what he was saying, then I got, okay, I know where this is coming from. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all I do, a lot of times I don't know how it's going to come out. I just do the work, move the energy, and clear the space of the negativity that was going. And voila, there you go. I don't know. I just do the work.
Perfect.
A lot of times I don't know the exact outcome. You just move the energy.
Let's do this. We've got time for one more before we got to wrap things up for tonight. Penny, who is a longtime listener, says, "Hey, I'm so glad you're back. How do I know if something is just an everyday problem rather than a demon or worse?" Penny, thanks for being on the edge. Appreciate you writing in.
That's good. Great question, Penny. Yeah, it could be just an everyday thing. It could be stuck energy. Just needs to be flowing, much the same way as if you had an illness of some sort, congestion in the lungs. It just doesn't want to go away, and no matter what you do, it doesn't go away. It just gets worse and worse. You just need to move the energy. Reiki does that. I can do that from a distance, but it's just a matter of flowing the energy. Sometimes it is something that has stepped in and is now controlling issues. You don't really know until you investigate. And investigating on when did it happen, when did it start, as to how did it rapidly move forward, or is it just subtle, or can you trace back to where it started and how it started to start going sideways, so to speak. I give free divination readings to help you along that. Any kind of reading that you get from anybody. Basically, it's information that you can help you come to some kind of decision. If you're getting different kinds of if you're getting information that you're not sure about, get a second opinion. And I've asked people, they weren't sure about me. He says, "How do I know you can do that?" I said, ask any psychic anywhere. Ask any, especially if you worked with them before and you trust them. Ask them about me. I've been verified by quite a few psychics. I mean, they'll tell you one way or another. Can I do it? Can I not? And ask them. That's the best way, I say. Background check.
Sorcerer Ray Scott. Sorcerer Ray Scott, my guest here on the Edge of the Unknown, sorcererforhire.com. Ray, thank you so much for being a part of this relaunch of the Edge of the Unknown, and tell everybody what you've got in the hopper, and again, how it is best to find you if they need your help.
Oh, yeah. On sorcererforhire.com. All new website. Looks very nice. Well done by a former person that I helped. And I would do some trade work back and forth. And she really appreciated my work. And I've helped her many times. She's and she did this, and she's a shaman for hire. So
nice.
So interesting. She adopted my kind of sorcerer for hire kind of name thing type of thing for her. And really nice lady, and she did a wonderful job. And on my contact form, it has a contact form, but it also has an email address above it, phone number. You can the phone number you can call or text. You can call, and I can do a free divination reading. You do a phone call, or even better, I get more clear, more exact information if I had a picture that I could connect. The better the connection, the better the result. If you have a situation, it's going to take a picture anyway to get a strong connection to clear them out or whatever's going on. 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's not necessarily an occult attack. It's rare. It does happen, but it's not as common as somebody just having demons. You can get one at a bar. Hey, 2 demons walked into a bar. I don't know what the end of the punchline would be, but that would be good.
You want to hear a dirty joke? 2 demons fell in the mud. Zing! There we go. Hey, at least we can laugh and end the show on laughter. Sorcerer Ray Scott. Ray, hold the line. I'm going to wrap this baby up. Thank you so much for being on. I am so excited that you're still going to be part of the Edge of the Unknown. And again, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. But stick around. I'm going to close this out, and we can talk as I clear this out. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Everybody, you've been listening to The Edge of the Unknown, and you've been listening to Sorcerer Ray Scott, sorcererforhire.com. Thanks for listening, everybody, and special thanks to the show sponsors. And also, extra special thanks to Mark 9 for providing the musical bumps. Mark 9 of Houston, Texas. It's awesome to be back on the air, everybody. Until next time, when I have Pete Standish on in the first weekend of August, be wary of things that go bump in the night. It could be anything. A ghost, a monster, or the guy next door. See you then.